All right, so many of you all know that the internet has been going crazy the last 24 hours since this clip of Grant Cardone in a recent interview about how he markets to black people, and the way that he markets to black people is that he uses quote unquote street terms or the most simplest terms possible. And I came across a clip, I believe it was like late last night, and I've been just sitting back watching all of the different responses from different entrepreneurs and different people give their take on it. And what I have been seeing is that there are some people who are not offended by what Grant Cardone said about the way that he approaches marketing with black people, and there are some black entrepreneurs who are totally offended with and through with Grant Cardone, and says that he's racist and all of this different type of stuff. So number one, the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to watch the full or most of the interview in full to kind of get a complete understanding of what was being said, because that was only a clip. And also I saw that one of the clips that was actually circulating had been edited. So I wanted to see the full interview in its totality in order to be able to give a balanced perspective. So I went back, watched it, as you can see and hear in this clip, that Grant is first, they're talking about content creation. They're talking about content creation and talking about how he was able to build his following on TikTok, Instagram, different social media platforms. And the way that he goes about it, he's sitting on top of Rolls Royces, flashing money, doing all these different type of things. And it's raw, unedited, unscripted content. And that's a lot of the way how he builds a lot of traction online and social media. So if you listen in the clip, he talks about the fact that if he goes out, then a 25-year-old black person is more likely to recognize him than a 50-year-old white person. And when he goes into the fact that when they targeting the black community or the black target audience is they use quote unquote street terms and very simple terms. Hearing that, he's not talking about all black people. Now, let me just go ahead and say this, though. I'm not a defender of Grant Cardone. And my teacher, the Honorable Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan, has taught us the nature in which people like Grant Cardone and other Caucasian men operate. See, I know his mindset. So I'm never, ever surprised by what these rich white men say. Never surprised by how offensive they are. I'm not surprised by their racist slurs because I know what his nature is. And we as black people have to learn that these white men are not here to kumbaya, civil rights, hold your hand, we all brothers with you. That's not what their mentality is. And the minute that they say something that you don't like or that you claim as offensive or racist, you start crying about how racist they are. That's the mentality. Go read your Constitution in the United States of America. Go study the founding fathers. Go and study the history in which America was built on. That's the mindset right there. So don't you think that just because you're not in shackles and chains today, that the mindset of a oppressor is not still in the slave master's children. So I'm not surprised or offended by what Grant Cardone says because I know who he is. And that does not affect me. I know that his nature. So it doesn't affect me because I got the knowledge of self. And this is what we need as black people. But on a business standpoint, if you are marketing a particular product or a service to a certain type of person, then yes, you must know the language that they speak. Yes, you must know the things that they like. Yes, you must know their hobbies, the places that they frequent, the foods that they like to eat, because all of those different things you're going to put in your messaging because you're trying to attract them to what it is that you have to offer. That's just business one-on-one. So if you're not doing what Grant is doing to attract the audience that you're trying to attract, then you're going to be losing in business. That's just the plain and simple facts of it. So whether you are offended by what Grant Cardone said or not is irrelevant to the business aspect of it, which Grant Cardone is a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. And irrelevant to that part of it, then he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. So are we really mad at Grant because he has to use simple terms to get the attention of black people or a certain age bracket? Because he mentioned 25-year-olds. So at a certain age bracket, is it his fault that he got to use simple terms to get our attention, or is it our fault? That's a question I'm going to leave open for you to be able to discuss a little bit later on. But again, we have to raise the knowledge of self in us and the knowledge of the enemy so that we able to understand and not move emotionally. We have to rise above emotion into the thinking of God so that these type of things don't offend us to the point that we become so emotional that, oh my gosh, we can't really understand the business or the marketing and utilize what Grant is talking about in our own business in a righteous and a positive way. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to study the white man. He makes no excuses for his failures, and we should do the same. Doesn't mean that you should move unrighteous the way that he does, but you should take the principles that he used for success and apply them to your business and to your company, and you'll be successful as well. So regardless as to the fact that you may be offended or not, which I understand some people are, the fact of the matter is he's operating within his nature. You need to operate within your nature. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Peace.